Well, it's February. It's been February now for a little while. But you cannot walk into a store this month without seeing hearts, flowers, chocolates everywhere. Yay, yay. Valentine's Day is this coming Tuesday, and so you might think, okay, once that happens, they'll be gone. But no, because what didn't sell will be on sale. So for the whole month of February, you're probably going to see hearts and flowers and chocolates around. And that may make you feel really great. You know, those folks who are in sweet and holy and sacred relationships love this holiday. I don't think it's really a holiday, but I think Hallmark calls it a holiday. You know, love this holiday. Those whose Facebook page status is single may not like this holiday so well. So we always like to do something here to take us beyond the normal trappings of this time of year of, you know, romantic love and partnerships, which is lovely, and I'm not knocking it, believe me, but to just go to something broader than that. And so this month our theme is getting to the heart of the matter. We thought that that would apply to this month of love, of getting to the heart of the matter. And we're going to take a deep dive each week into what does that look like. And last week, I really want to acknowledge our ministers and spiritual life coaches and spiritual life apprentices who did the entire service, gave me a Sunday off and got to be filled, and I loved that. I was off but here, so I just got to receive, and we heard how they connect with divine love and in the ways that divine love expresses to them. And so many nuggets, and I heard so many comments. So congratulations. I heard so many comments on people saying that was touching and it was beautiful, and I took this away and I took that away. And I had a lot of takeaways, but if I just come up with one right now, the takeaway that I'm thinking of right now is that find your love Buddha. And if you don't know what that means, go see Reverend Cindy, because she's the one who said it. Find your love Buddha. I loved that. It was so great. Pretty much every Sunday, I say something, which is why we're going to where we're going today. Today we're going to talk about the heart of our dreams, as you can see from that. Almost every Sunday I say something to the effect of we are a community of care, connection, and creation that supports you in opening your heart so that you can take your dream, whatever it is, from incubation to manifestation. That is such an important piece of who we are as a spiritual community that I tend to talk about this a lot. I talk about manifesting dreams a lot because that's who we are. So we're going to talk about that again today with perhaps a different twist. I was told by several people after first service that I kicked butt today, quote unquote. So I'm just saying, be prepared to have your butt kicked. I didn't know I did that, but that's what they told me. So here we go. So I also said in the description of today that be sure to be with us. That's my little, reel out there to pull you in. Be sure to be with us today for that twist that we'll have on this idea of dream making. Be sure to be with us for that twist, and you may actually receive hearts, flowers, and candy. This is the Sunday before Valentine's Day. So you may receive today hearts in the form of candy, combined two things, hearts and chocolate right here. Yes, right here. I got a pretty big basket full of them. And flowers. They are here. How that's going to happen shall be revealed. But first, I want to share with you a story. And as I told drummer Dave in first service, this is a true story, does not require any emphasis with the drum, so he can just sit back and relax and enjoy the story, right? No pressure on you. I know to find where is that punchline anyway. Sometimes he can't tell because neither can you, and and I understand that, but you're off the hook today. You don't have to find it today. But this is a true story. And it's a true story about a young woman named Jean Harper. And the story begins in 1959. Not all of you were around then, but many of us were. 1959, and she was in third grade. And as I tell this story, I'm just going to invite you to think, could this be your story? Or could it, I had several people after first service say, oh my gosh, that was my story. So just see if you find yourself in this story. So Jean Harper, she's in third grade. Her father is a crop duster. And so she has a love of airplanes and is fascinated with airplanes. And one day, her third grade teacher asks all of her class to write a paper on what do you want to be when you grow up. Well, of course, this planes came into her head because this is what she loved. And so she started thinking about, well, I want to be a crop duster like my dad. And I'd like to make parachute jumps. And I would like to, she'd seen something in the TV show Sky King. Anybody remember Sky King? I do. Wasn't Penny the name of the little girl in Sky? I believe. Oh, man, that's coming back the recesses of my mind. Wow. So in Sky King, she saw an episode where they were seeding clouds to make it rain. So she decided she wanted to be a person who seeded clouds to make it rain. But most of all, the thing she wanted to do more than anything at all was to become an airline pilot. That's what she wanted. So that's what she wrote about. Her little third grade heart was bursting with enthusiasm as she wrote her paper about what she's going to be and do when she grows up. Turned it in with great excitement, got it back the next day, looked at it, and it had a big red F on it. And it said, "You'll poke your eye out." No, wait, that's not it. Wait. Dave, I could have used you on that one. Wrong holiday, wrong story, sorry. That's not what the teacher wrote on it. And if you do not know what that meant, watch The Christmas Story next Christmas when that little movie comes around. It's precious. It was filmed at Lonnie's grade school, by the way, just as a little aside, just so you know that. So we have to watch it every year. No, the teacher who put an F on her paper, the teacher wrote this: "Impossible. You have written a fairy tale. None of these dreams are for a girl." Okay, this was 1959. But that's what she said. Little Jean's heart was crushed. Her dreams were crushed. And although she tried to keep them alive, she showed this paper to her dad, who said, "Hogwash." Thank goodness he said that. "Look at Amelia Earhart." So he was encouraging to her, but as she would speak about her dream to other people, they would tell her, "No, you can't do it." They would say, "You can't be an airline pilot. Girls can't do that. You're not smart enough to do it. You're just plain crazy, and it's impossible." Those are words that she heard over and over and over. And so, at the ripe old age of 11, she gave up on her dream. Pause for a moment. Is there a dream that you had as a kid that at some point you gave up on? You don't have to answer that out loud. I just invite you to ask it in your heart. Because if it's there, my prayer is that today re-enlivens that dream. Let me finish the story about Jean. We're going to fast forward to high school. She's in high school. She's a senior. And her senior English teacher gives them an assignment. And the assignment is, what do you see yourself doing 10 years from now? Well, Jean thought about that assignment, and she thought about her old dream. Came up, because it didn't go away. It's still there. So she thought, pilot. No. That'll never happen. She thought flight attendant. No, not pretty enough. She thought wife. No, who's going to want me? She thought waitress. Yeah, I could do that. So she wrote waitress and wrote a little paper about being a waitress. Turned her paper in. A couple days later, the teacher turned all the papers back. And as the teacher's turning the papers back, she's laying them face down on the desks of the students. And she said, "Don't turn it over." She said, "I want to ask you all a question. If you had unlimited finances, access to the finest schools, and limitless talent and abilities, what would you do?" Write that down. So on the back of the original paper, all the students started writing. All the students started writing. And not surprisingly, Jean's rush of enthusiasm for being a pilot and for flying came back, and so she started writing about that again. When everybody had finished writing, the teacher said to them, "How many of you wrote the same thing on both sides of those papers?" Not one student raised his or her hand. The teacher got this look of earnest on her face, made eye contact with every single student, and then said, "I have a little secret for all of you. You do have limitless abilities and talents. You do have access to the finest schools, and you can arrange unlimited finances if you want it bad enough. This is it. When you leave this school, if you don't go for your dreams, no one will. You can have what you want if you want it enough. Well, in that moment, in that face of truth, capital T truth, Jean's dreams were rebirthed. She was filled with exhilaration and scared to death, both. But she knew she was going to go for her dreams. And she went to the teacher after class and said, thank you for that. And she told the teacher what her dreams were. And the teacher said, well, then just do it. I'm wondering if maybe the founder of Nike was also in the class. I don't know. I don't know if he was. But nonetheless, she said to Jean, just do it. And so she did. It didn't happen overnight. In fact, it took 10 years. It wasn't all smooth sailing. There were still those naysayers who said a woman can't do this. But she got her pilot's license. And she even then, it was first a private pilot license, and then she got a rating to fly air freight, and she got a rating to fly a commuter plane. Always as a co-pilot, but nonetheless to fly. The airlines, her employer would tell her openly, this is going to be good enough. You're a co-pilot. You're never going to be a captain. You're never going to be the lead because you're a woman. You can't do it. But she did not listen to them. She kept going. And every single dream of that little third grader's heart that was a fairy tale, according to her teacher, got made manifest. For a time, she was a crop duster, just like her dad. She made a few hundred parachute jumps. She even spent a summer as a weather modification pilot seeding clouds so that they would rain. In 1978, she was in the first group of the first female pilot trainees ever accepted by United Airlines. And ultimately, she became the captain, not the co-pilot, but the captain of a Boeing 737. Jean realized her dreams. And she said, I chose to believe her, meaning that English teacher. I chose to believe her, and I committed myself to my dreams. I chose to believe her, and I committed myself to my dreams. When you get to the heart of your dreams, when you get to what it is that makes your heart sing, 2 questions. Who are you listening to? Is it a voice in your head that says you can't do it? That's somebody else's voice from way back when? And how committed are you to it? Those are 2 questions I want us to look at this morning in the context of an acronym. This is our twist for the day. I love acronyms because they help me remember things. And so I want to use DREAM as an acronym. DREAM. 5 letters, 5 ideas. Here they are. D stands for deserve your dream. R stands for reach for your dream or dreams. Not just one necessarily, probably not just one. E, expect the best. A, align with source and bring it on home. With M, manifest those dreams. So let's look at those. D, deserve your dream. I know this for a fact. It's not the truth, but it's a fact. I know for a fact. I don't know who you are, but I know there is at least one, and there's probably at least a dozen people sitting out here right now in this room thinking to themselves, I don't deserve my dream. Because somebody along the way told you that. Or it has different ways that work around in our brain. I can't do it. I'm not good enough for it. I'm not smart enough. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm this. I'm the wrong gender. I'm this. I'm blah, blah, blah. Those are all getting down to deservability. So I know there's somebody sitting here who thinks that. And if I am talking to you, please listen to me. You do deserve your dreams. Because your dreams are the God of your being knocking from the inside saying, let me out. When you express your dreams, you're expressing the divine. Amen? Let's say that again. I like that. Amen. Brothers and sisters, hallelujah. I love it. That's the truth. So how could you not deserve it? The God of your being wants to express through it and as it. So I have a statement that I want us to say, but I really want to invite you into believing this, into recognizing if you have had that old stuff going on in your head about you don't deserve or you can't or you've had all that stuff, this morning, set it aside. Listen to Jean's second teacher, not the first one. Here's the statement. When I express my dreams, I express the God of my being. And I deserve to express the God of my being. Yeah? When I express my dreams, I express the God of my being, and I deserve to express the God of my being. I'll break it up in parts so we can say it together. Those of you who don't know why we're doing this, listen, I'll tell you some other time. But science has shown that when we are in this position, it's the power position, scientifically proven the power position, when we say, when I express my dreams, I express the God of my being. And I deserve to express the God of my being. Yeah. That is absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. You deserve to express the God of your being. There's a passage in a great book called Big Magic. Yes. I did a whole series, a month series a year or two ago on Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. And if you don't recognize her name or that book, you might recognize her name from her previous book, best-selling book, turned into a movie called Eat, Pray, Love. Julia Roberts made her famous, if she wasn't already famous on her own. Elizabeth Gilbert. So Elizabeth, as I said, I did a whole series on this amazing book, but I didn't share this particular passage because it just didn't seem to fit in where we were going with the series. But I saved it, not only in my files of material, but in my brain, because I knew there would be a day when this passage would fit perfectly, and today is that day. Now, if you've read Big Magic or any of her work, you know that she's a bit, shall we say, sassy? Would that be a good word to describe her? Sassy, irreverent. I said irrelevant in first services. That's not what I meant. Irreverent was the word I meant. Irreverent, and she's got a bit of a foul mouth on her. So this passage may have a bit of that in there. Not too bad, but a little bit. You're good. You're adults. You can handle it, right? Yes. Say yes. Yes. Okay, good. Because it's so perfect. She's speaking to in this particular chapter. She's talking about having an arrogance. And it's a kind of arrogance that just simply says, I deserve to show up as who I am. That's the arrogance she's talking about. So in this quote, it's a little bit long, stay with me. I believe this kind of arrogance, this simple entitled to exist and therefore express yourself arrogance, is the only weapon with which to combat the nasty dialogue that automatically arises within your head whenever you get an artistic impulse. And I'm going to add, or you get an impulse to move toward your dream. You know that nasty dialogue I mean, don't you? I'm talking about the nasty dialogue that goes like this. Who the hell do you think you are trying to be creative? You suck. You're stupid. You have no talent, and you serve no purpose. Get back in your hole. I told you, she was sassy. Yep. To which you may have spent a lifetime obediently replying, you're right. I do suck, and I am stupid. Thank you. I'll get back in my hole now. I would like to see you engaged in a more generative and interesting conversation with yourself. For heaven's sakes, at least defend yourself. Defending yourself as a creative person begins with defining, and I love that. Define yourself. It begins when you declare your intent. Stand up tall and say aloud what it is. I am a writer. I am a singer. I am an artist. I am a photographer. I am a chef. I am a designer. I am an inventor. Or I don't know exactly yet what I am, but I'm curious enough to find out. I love that last one. I don't know yet exactly what I am, but I'm curious enough to find out. Speak it. Let it know you are here. Heck, let you know you are here. Because this statement of intent is just as much of an announcement to yourself as it is an announcement to the universe or anybody else. Hearing this announcement, your soul will mobilize accordingly. That is such an important statement. Hearing this announcement, your soul will mobilize accordingly. It will mobilize ecstatically, in fact, because this is what your soul was born for. Trust me, your soul has been waiting for you to wake up in your own existence for years. but you must be the one to start the conversation. And then you must feel entitled to stay in it. This proclamation of intent and entitlement is not something you can do just once and then expect miracles. It's something you must do daily forever. Well, here's what I want to do daily in this day right now. And it may be a bit of a stretch, but there is reward. It's the hearts and candy part of the flowers, hearts and candy. So this is what I want to do. You guys are ready? All right, I got 2 microphone runners. We're going to be efficient and effective. And I have about 10 or so of these. So if you want to play, if you want to do what she just said, stand up and say, I am, and whatever it is, what is that dream that's nudging you? Maybe you've dipped your toe into it, but you want to express it in a bigger way. Maybe it's just sitting there in your heart and your gut, and you're nervous about it, but if you got to the heart of your dream, you'd go, that's it. And so stand up and say, I am that. Or stand up and say, I don't know yet what I am, but I'm curious enough to be willing to explore it. All right? That's all. We don't, no story, no nothing. Love your name. Love to get your name so everybody hears it. And that's it. So, who goes first? Okay, right there. I see one, and okay, so we'll just walk. Go, here we go. Say it again.
My name is Freedom, and I am a motivational speaker.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
My name is Kathy, and I host retreats that help people heal and know their true selves.
Yes, you do.
My name is Sally, and I am a best-selling author of Empowerment Ideas.
Yes, 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 you are. We'll get you.
I am Bill, and I love my photography.
Yeah, so yes, you do, and say, Bill, Bill, you're not.
I am a photographer.
Thank you. Yes, 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 yes. Here you go. Catch. All right, let's get you, and then we'll. You're gonna make me run back and forth. Okay, good.
I am Tara. I am a professional speaker, teacher, coach, and I speak to rooms of 1,200 people and more.
Whoa, look at that clarity. Clarity and specificity. I'm loving it.
I am Elaine. I am financially free to give and to help those less fortunate.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm an advocate for wellness and personal growth, and I'm a business owner.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I am Penny, and I don't know who I am, but I'm willing to find out.
Yes. Rock on. Rock on.
I am Ricardo. I am a little lost too, but I know I am lovable.
Yes, 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 yes. Back here. Okay, yes, David.
I am David, and I turn people on to pursuing the wild heart of life.
Whoa, I'm loving that. All right.
I am Ken. I'm an accomplished guitarist expressing God's joy.
Lovely. Yes, you are. Are you busy Saturday night? Because I need a guitarist on Saturday night. I am not kidding. I am not kidding about that. We'll talk after service.
I'm Tom, and I'm an artist.
Yes, you are. All right. I got one more. So we're just going to share you two do it, and we're going to share the love. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. I'm Jeff, and I finished my bachelor's degree, and I gave back to the community.
Yes. Congratulations.
My name is Alana, and I am financially and time-free, and I fund end-human trafficking rescues.
Beautiful. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And there you go. Would you pass those down? All right. Give all of those amazing people and their dreams a hand. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, in the Science of Mind textbook said, "Free yourself forever from the thought that God may be pleased by a life of sacrifice, that the world is any better because of your misery, or that righteousness is more perfectly expressed through poverty than abundance. Know that the greater abundance of every good thing which you are bringing out in your life, the more perfectly you are satisfying the divine urge within you. Anything you can dream of," and those are in all caps, Anything you can dream of is not too great for you to undertake if it hurts no one and brings happiness and good into your life. Deserve your dream, you do. All right. Taking the next two together. Reach for your dreams and expect the best. German philosopher Goethe once said this: "Are you in earnest? Then seize this very minute. What you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Only engage and the mind grows heated. Begin and then the work will be completed." So I say again this morning, what is your dream and what are you committed to? What are you committed to? I work with a coach, and I was working with him this week, and he said to me something that I know, but I got at a deeper level this week, and it was the difference between goals and commitments. He said goals are great, and they're great, but they're not actionable, and so they have no teeth. Commitment is actionable, and it has teeth, and it gets you to where you want to go. So how committed are we to reach for our dreams, to reach for them, and to continue to expect the best of them and not be discouraged if you have a setback or a slip? Who hasn't? Who won't have that? We all, that's part of the human experience. In fact, it's part of the growing of our human experience. But sometimes we let those setbacks be complete falls and we don't get back up. When we're committed to reaching for our dream and expecting the best, we stay with it no matter what. How many of you have seen the movie Hidden Figures? Yeah, a lot of you have. What an amazing movie on all sorts of levels about reaching for dreams that were not possible, whether that was getting into space or a black woman supervising another group of women or being at the table with all of the white guys. Those things were not possible. They were unheard of then. And yet it happened. Go see the movie if you haven't. It's amazing. It's a powerful, powerful movie. Reach for it. Expect the best. I want to give you a little example of that right now. A little guy had a big dream. This little guy has a very big dream. This very big dream is about riding a very big horse. But there's a little bit of a challenge. I want you to see what that challenge is.
Don't break that thingy. There you go.
Now climb up, right, boy.
You're done? Yeah, slowly. Don't lose it now.
You're not going off backwards.
Oh, there you go. Pet tater. That was good.
And thank you, Michelle, for bringing that into my awareness. There it is, right there. Reach for the dream. Reach for it and expect the best, and you will make it. Did you notice two things about that? How, one, patiently that horse just sat there, waiting for him to get up, and then how he reached down and loved on that horse? Both of those are a metaphor for align with source. And because that is such a huge topic, we are not going to go there today. We are going to spend all next Sunday on the A, aligning with source. So I invite you back or online or listen to the podcast if you can't be here, but we're going to align with source next Sunday. But for now, when we are clear that we deserve our dreams, and then we commit to reaching for them, that's our R, to E, expect the best, align A with our dreams, which is next week, we will manifest our M, manifest that dream. We will. Why? Because the universe comes in to support things that we would never expect, resources, ideas, gifts, whatever happen when we make the commitment. There's a passage that I have read many times, but I have to read it again today because it is so spot on. We'll almost end with this passage, a tiny bit more. W.H. Murray, in his book, The Scottish Himalayan Expedition, wrote this. Many times this passage, and you might recognize it at a certain point because we've heard it a lot, but we often don't hear a few words before, and I want to read you a little earlier than the common passage. And what's happening is W.H. Murray and a group of people are wanting to go mountain climb. And they have this intention, they have this goal, but they haven't done, at least in his mind, enough. They haven't done enough to get going. They haven't gotten out of their ruts, as he says. And he's frustrated with it. And then he writes these words. When I said nothing had been done, I erred in one important matter. We had definitely committed ourselves and were therefore halfway out of our ruts. We had put down our passage money. We had booked a sail to Bombay. This may sound too simple, but it is of great consequence. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative, and I'll add realizing our dreams, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents, meetings, and material assistance, which no one could have dreamt would have come his or her way. I have learned a deep respect for one of Goethe's couplets. Recognize this. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. I just quoted that whole thing a few minutes ago. So I ask you this morning, I invite you this morning to engage the power, the genius, and the magic that Goethe is speaking of. Engage that by booking your sailing to Bombay, by taking a committed action, an action step. And so, to bring our time to a close, this is the flowers part. One person whose ever hand I see first, who's going to tell me the committed action that they are going to take to move their dream into manifestation gets these flowers. Okay. Boy, you guys were dang close. I think they were like at the same time. We might have to split these up. They were at the same time. All right, Freedom, let's hear.
My committed action?
Yeah, your committed action.
I'm going to join Toastmasters starting Tuesday morning.
Rock on, rock on. Hold that for 1 second. All right, so this is what we're going to do. She is joining Toastmasters as of Tuesday morning. Nope, can't do it. We'll split them afterwards. But Mary Beth, I want to hear. Let's go.
I am going to go take the math classes necessary to pass my high school math teaching credentials.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's how it's done. Let's pray. How sweet, how beautiful. Hearts, flowers, candy. Symbols this morning of the divine. Symbols this morning of support of the universe that is everywhere in every way. Symbols this morning of that inner voice, that voice in our inner space urging us on to fuller, greater, and grander expression. That God of our being this morning has said, come, let me out a little bit more. So I affirm and I know for each and every one of us, those who proclaim their words aloud, those who proclaim their words in their hearts, those who are very clear about what their next step is, those who are still uncertain but willing to find out. I affirm for each of us that truly as we move into the heart of our dreams, recognizing that we deserve it, reach for it, expect the best, align with Source, we do in fact manifest. That is what I know, and that is what I know is happening right here. So I accept and affirm that wherever we are on that journey of the acronym, that we focus on it and live from it in a more powerful way. And God says yes. The universe rises up to us and meets us way more than halfway. And therefore it is done. And so I celebrate that it is done. I know that it is done. And I rejoice in the very innermost part of my being I deeply breathe, and I celebrate, and I rejoice, and I call it good. Oh, so very, very good. And I release these words in faith, in trust, and in truth. And so it is.